We're not starting yet, but if this were a church, I'd say pack them in, move to the middle, because we got people that are still coming in, which is awesome. So if you don't mind, if there's like a seat between you and somebody, just get to be really good friends. Thank you.
Good afternoon. It is my pleasure to welcome you to Meridian Community College's Black History Celebration. This year's theme is Know the Past and Shape the Future. We are here to celebrate the vital role that African Americans have played in the development and progress of America throughout our history. On February 12, 1926, American historian Carter G. Woodson established Black History Week to recall and celebrate the positive contributions made by people of African descent. For many years, we set aside the second week of February for this celebration, coinciding with the birthday of abolitionist Frederick Douglass. In 1976, this year was expanded into Black History Month. But even with a month-long celebration, there's barely enough time to cover so many important historic events and accomplishments and the stories of our forefathers. So Black History Month is really a reminder how important our heritage is, and this belongs in the forefront of our consciousness 365 days a year. After the celebration, we're going to have a special treat for you that I'm excited to see. I have some special guests who are students here at Meridian Community College who are going to act out our living biographies. And I want you to know who these persons are. And I'm going to ask them to wave their hand so you can actually interact with them during our reception. The first person is a person from Meridian, Mississippi. And you might not have heard of him, and I know a lot of you have. Mr. James Chaney. Where are you, James? James was one of the 3 Congress of Racial Equality civil rights workers who was killed in Philadelphia, Mississippi. Next, I have somebody that my husband, he knows more than I know about and just gave me too much information about him. Walter Payton. Would you please raise your hand? Walter was from Columbia, Mississippi. He was a prolific and versatile running back for the Chicago Bears, who started his collegiate football career at Jackson State University. Do I have any Jackson State persons here? All right. The next person that I am really excited about, because I like what her saying, is going to be Miss Fannie Lou Hamer. Raise your hand, Fannie. She is from Ruleville, Mississippi. She was an American voting and a women's rights activist who is best known for saying, "I'm sick and tired of being what?" Right. And the last person that we have is going to be Miss Ida Wells. Raise your hand, Ida. Ida was born in Holly Springs. I know more than I want to know about West College. That's where my parents went to school. She was an American investigative journalist, educator, and an early leader in the civil rights movement. What I'm asking everyone to do is relax. If you hear something that you can relate to, you are free to wave your hand. You can say, "Amen." We're not at church, but I hope you will enjoy the show. And I am so excited about this program. Thank you.
A native of Meridian, the Honorable Judge Dustin Markham has been licensed to practice law in the state of Mississippi since 2011. Attorney Markham is admitted to the practice of all state courts in states of Mississippi and before the Fifth Circuit of Appeals in the Northern and Southern University States of District Court, and the Mississippi Law of Band in Choctaw Indian Tribal Court. Attorney Markham practice includes family law, criminal law, wills, and trusts. He is a defense attorney for the Lauderdale County Justice Court in addition to maintain his own private practice in downtown Meridian of July 2021. He has been appointed and confirmed as the municipal court judge in the city of Meridian and the first African-American male in the 201st year of history in the city of Meridian. Attorney Markham, in 2003, honors graduate of Meridian High School and 2005 graduate of Meridian Community College, and a 2005 cum laude graduate of Jackson State University. Having an obtained bachelor's arts degree in a political science, he is a 2010 graduate of Thomas M. Cooley's Law School. An active member of Community Attorney Markham served the City of Meridian Councilman Ward for July 2013 until July 2017. Attorney Markham is a member of the First Union Baptist Church. He is a graduate of East Mississippi Business Department Corporation's Leadership Lauderdale Program and Mississippi Bar Young Lawyers Leadership Forum. Attorney Markham is a member of the Magnolia Bar Association Service, the East Mississippi Correctional Faculty Advisor Board. In 2014, Attorney Markham was inducted into the Meridian Community College Hall of Fame. He was currently served on the Mississippi Children's Museum Advisory Committee and as executive director of East Central Division of Mississippi Bar. Markham is one of the sons of Mr. Robert M. Markham and Miss Ann C. Markham.
Before Judge Markham comes and joins us, please join me in welcoming Meridian's very own Inspire Walker as she graces our stage.
externally, but by what's deep inside of me. I am Mother Africa. I am the essence of nature, withstanding every season, withstanding the storms. My life has purpose. Yes, I am here for great reason. I am the definition of love. I am the definition of forgiveness. Yet I am also the definition of standing. Flowing through me is the definition of relentless. I am Mother Africa. Daily redefining who they try to write me off to be. Daily showing that I define my destiny. As I daily choose to fly, meaning fearlessly living in my yes. And yes, given to my spirit means your endless submission. I am Mother Africa.
To President Huebner, to the program participants, to the great students of Meridian Community College, to the community individuals who saw fit to spend their time today deeply delving into knowing the past and shaping the future. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Y'all can do better than that. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It is with great respect, honor, humility that I stand here before you today, not just any day, but on the second day of the second month of 2022 at 2 p.m. as the Black History Month speaker. It's difficult to express in words or employ the English language to tell you as a former MCCer how amazing it felt to be invited to bring the keynote address. You see, MCCers know this is a program that we sit in to get extra credit for our classes. This is a program that our teachers ask us to write essays about. This is the program that you hear about throughout the school and the community because of how impressive, prolific, and dynamic Meridian Community College presents it, and how this community accepts it year in and year out. I'm proud to be a Meridian Community College Eagle. I'm proud to be a 2014 inductee and member of Meridian Community College Hall of Fame. However, I'm most proud of my MCC story because everyone has an MCC story, don't they? Everyone that's attended or planned to attend, graduated, not graduated, or can be classified as simply an MCCer at heart has a story. Whether I'm visiting one of the area schools or talking to an undecided junior or senior at high school, and even from the bench in the courtroom as I enroll those wanting a second chance at life in the MCC adult education program, instead of making them serve jail time, because I know they can do better. I'm proud to tell my MCC story, and one might look and say that I take my Ivy League recruiter position literally, because I want people to know how great MCC is. I want people to know how great MCC is. I saw Deanna earlier, and Deanna worked with me while I was on the MCC Ivy League program as a recruiter. And I'm extremely jealous as to the hoodies that they have and the nice golf polo shirts they have. We had one shirt that had an eagle and MCC on it, and wherever we went, if we went out of here, if we went to a school, that was the one we wore. We had to make sure it was clean. So I'm jealous, and I expect one before I leave today. 19 years ago, I was a college freshman starting at MCC. Previously, during my senior year at Meridian High School, I was gravely undecided as to what my next steps would be. My parents, who both gave a majority of their careers to the Meridian Public School District, didn't think that I exhibited the maturity necessary to go to a four-year college. Rather than waste money on my immaturity, they strongly recommended that I go to MCC. And if I did what I was supposed to do for 2 years, they'd allow me to go anywhere that I wanted to go. That sound familiar? Still somewhat undecided, I leaned towards the university transfer, and I initially took classes consistent with medicine, chemistry, Chemistry 2, Zoology, and the labs that run concurrent with those classes. And some basics. After a year, I wasn't where I wanted to be. I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I realized that I was not driven to continue in that same route. I looked at my report card, I looked at my credits, and I also realized that I wasn't going to get out of here within the 2 years that I had planned to. To add to the tailspin of a dilemma, I didn't attend summer school. So not only was I now behind, but I only had 1 year to clean it up. The next action that I took would change my life. I went to see Miss Angela Payne. Miss Angela Payne had an office right inside of the glass doors in Ivy Hall. I had known Miss Payne because I went to school with her son, Kellen. And her husband had given me my first job as a stock associate at the age of 16 at JCPenney's, unloading trucks every day at 10 o'clock throughout the summer. I leaned on her. I was honest with her. And I told her I needed help to be placed back on the right path. She never judged me. She was compassionate. She was brutally honest with me. And she got me back on the right track with my classes so I could finish on time. And I did just that. The rest is history. The rest is my past. I recognize the power of God. I recognize the love and the hard work that my parents put in for me. God nor my parents have left me in the 36 years that I've been on this earth. But I want to say this, and I submit to you today, that if it was not for Miss Angela Payne and her efforts on behalf of Meridian Community College, I would not be who I am today or where I am in my career. I am a judge. Meridian Community College has made a judge. They've made an attorney. And most importantly, they've made a graduate. I am literally, in every sense of the word, and as Inspire said, my ancestors' wildest dream. Never could they imagine where I am today. Knowing the past, shaping the future. Knowing our past, shaping our future. To know our past means to know what's behind us, where we come from, examine what has been dead and buried, what's considered former, of old, discontinued, forgotten, finished. One thing about the past is, a lot of times it shows you what not to bring into the future. However, on the same hand, and as we've learned from those more seasoned than us that have been here before us, the past repeats itself. The past cannot be changed, forgotten, edited, or erased. It can only be accepted. Remembering the past gives power to the present. The way you remember the past depends upon your hope for the future. Here in the city of Meridian, our past has not been our best. In Lauderdale County, Kemper County, and in neighboring Neshoba County, historically, our past has not been our best. As we look at the state of Mississippi and we look across the nation, our past has not been our best. To understand where we come from, we must insert ourselves into the past. We must take our present selves and step into the realities of our past, the realities of where we come from, regardless of how ugly it is. We have to take a four-dimensional step into the shoes of the most courageous, without all the knowledge that we have access to in 2022, and be limited to the tools, the rules, the lack of innovation, and the consequences of the past. That approach is key in determining how we shape our future and how we move forward. Know the past. On a crisp fall day of November 14, 1960, a mother nervously got her 5-year-old daughter prepared for school. She dressed her in her Sunday's best, head to toe. She spent hours the night before holding the 5-year-old in her lap, doing her hair to the best of her ability so that she looked as presentable as she could. This would be the day her baby made history. A judge's order directed that the first day of integrated schools in New Orleans would be this fall day. And the child, after taking an IQ test and showing that she was eligible and worthy, was prepared to sit in the classroom at 5 years old with other white 5-year-olds. You see, Ruby Bridges' mother and father argued daily about taking this step. And although her father was reluctant, her mother insisted that this decision was needed, not only to give her child a better education, but to take this step forward for all African American children. As Ruby approached the school, she described that she could see a large crowd. But living in New Orleans, she thought it was Mardi Gras. As she got closer, she saw a large crowd of people outside the school, shouting and throwing things. Again, that same thing goes on during Mardi Gras. That's a 5-year-old. So a 5-year-old little black girl stepping out of a car with 4 United States Marshals and escorted through a crowd of hateful people, some holding cardboard tombstones, some holding nooses and ropes and knots, some pulling wagons that were identified as dead baby dolls and cribs, to walk into the door as a 5-year-old so you could learn. So that you could learn your letters and your numbers, so that you could color. Walk through that door so that you could be afforded the same privileges as other kids who didn't look like you. Imagine doing that at 5 years old, and then doing it without your mother and your father. Then imagine being escorted daily to school for the next several months while your parents stay behind to see to your other siblings. Ruby Bridges showed us what it meant to be fearless. Know the past. 53,775 fans possessed a ticket for admission to what they believe to be the most historic day in baseball history, April 8, 1974. In a nationally televised game on NBC, standing room only was reported at Fulton County Stadium for the beloved Atlanta Braves of Atlanta, Georgia. You see, on that night, and with one swing of his bat, Hank Aaron surpassed Babe Ruth by hitting his 715th home run over the left field wall into the bullpen. The game's announcer described Hank's feat by saying, "This is a marvelous moment for baseball in this country. It's a marvelous moment for the country and this world, and for the first time in a long time, in the state of Georgia, the poker face that Hank Aaron shows, the tremendous strain he shows, is now relieved. The cause of the tremendous strain is easy to pinpoint. No one believed throughout the entirety of Henry Aaron's career that he would break Babe Ruth's record. Ruth was a baseball idol. 714 home runs at that time was unreachable. The United States Postal Service confirmed that Hank Aaron received over 300,000 letters of hate, which contained racial slurs, as well as threats as to what would happen should he see fit to break that record. That year, the Guinness Book of World Records credited him with the most mail received by a private citizen in 1 year. He got so much hate mail that the Atlanta Braves had to hire his own secretary, a baseball player with his own secretary to sift through hate mail. Think about the openness of a baseball field, the lack of any obstructions on that field, the fact that Hank was an outfielder, he had his back to the crowd for the entirety of each game. And when he came to bat, he had his head turned and his back to those who sat behind home plate. And at a high-performing professional level, Aaron was still asked to perform as a baseball player. In addition to being calling names, he was told he would be shot in the back while he stood in the outfield. He would be shot during batting practice. He would be shot as he swung the bat in a game. He would be shot as he rounded the bases. Imagine hearing that every day for a year, the entirety of your baseball season, 162 games. Couple this traumatic experience towards the end of his 20-plus year career with an experience 20 years earlier in Washington, D.C. in 1951, when after eating with his team in a restaurant, he witnessed restaurant workers destroying the plates that had had contact with forks that had been in the mouths of black men. Hank later said that if dogs had eaten off of those plates, they would have kept them. Hank Aaron showed perseverance. Know the past. It was extremely rare during the civil rights movement for an African American, especially a male, to be viewed as a catalyst for the movement and a one-stop shop for the organization, planning, strategy, housing, defense, financial support, transportation, and innovation. Before the 1955 kidnapping and murder of Chicago youth Emmett Till, both organization and funding were two of the main challenges that prevented fairness in the pursuit of justice. Dr. Theodore Roosevelt Mason Howard changed that. Not only was he a mentor to activists such as Medgar Evers, Charles Edward Evers, Fannie Lou Hamer, Anzia Moore, Aaron Henry, and Jesse Jackson, he founded Mississippi's leading civil rights organization in the 1950s called the Council of Negro Leadership. During Emmett Till's murder, Howard allowed his home to be a command center for witnesses and journalists. During the trial, he spearheaded a private investigation, personally helping to locate, interview, and protect witnesses that had been intimidated. Think about that. And on top of all of that, he was a surgeon, a chief surgeon at the hospital in Mound Bayou with black and white patients. When Mamie Till Bradley, Emmett Till's mother, came down from Chicago, he paid for it. When she had to go to the courthouse every day to watch the court proceedings, He provided a caravan, an armed caravan of vehicles to make sure that she was safe and protected. Dr. Howard was brave. Dr. Howard was versatile. Know your past. Women wear several different hats on a daily basis. This next woman has proven to wear her hats, although weathered at times, with style, grace, poise, professionalism, intelligence, and strength. It was not enough for former Georgia House of Representative and Minority Leader Stacey Yvonne Abrams to be a politician, a lawyer, and an author. Stacey knew her call to service, and this nation went beyond what she could do from any seat or any position. After becoming the first African-American female majority party candidate for governor in the United States, she lost the 2018 Georgia gubernatorial election to Republican candidate Brian Kemp. She was not satisfied. She did not concede. She recognized that the rights of voters, their ability to vote, was suppressed. Voters had been purged from the voting rolls without notice. 1.4 million voters in Georgia had their registrations unilaterally canceled within a year prior to the 2018 elections. 1 month before the 2018 election, 53,000 voter registration applications had been put on hold by the Secretary of State's office in Georgia. 75% of those applications belonged to minorities. Who was the Secretary of State? Brian Kemp. As Michael Jordan said in his 10-part documentary, The Last Dance, Stacey Abrams took that personally. What did she do to bounce back? Her efforts have been widely credited for boosting voter turnout in Georgia, including the 2020 presidential election that flipped the state from red to blue for the first time in history, and in the 2020 and 2021 United States Senate election and special election. She's also founded Fair Fight, which is an initiative to ensure that every American has a voice in our electoral system. We know our past, and in knowing our past, we have to know what tools can we leave here with today to shape our future. There are no waiting rooms, no buses, no lunch counters to integrate, because the actions of those that came before us in the past shaped our future. No longer are our bathrooms, our water fountains, our restaurants separate but equal, because those that came before us in our past shaped our future. There's still work to be done. There's still achievements to be made. We must take on this world by being fearless, like Ruby Bridges. We must persevere, like Hank Aaron. We must be brave and versatile, like Dr. Howard. And we must be courageous, like Stacey Abrams. But we can't stop there. We must be calculated, like John Lewis. We must be cool, like President Barack Obama. We must be tolerant, like Dr. Martin Luther King. And we must never get tired, like Harriet Tubman. Once you become fearless, life becomes limitless. Victory is always possible for the person who refuses to stop fighting. Morgan Harper Nichols says that bravery is the audacity to be unhindered by failures and to walk with freedom, strength, and hope in the face of things unknown. Be versatile, be willing to adapt, always able to adjust, and never willing to give up. A lion doesn't turn around when a small dog barks. Joshua 1st chapter 9th verse says, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go." Everyone in this room, good or bad, has a heart. Everyone has the ability to process thought. Everyone in this room has a work ethic, good or bad. Each one of you have the power to change this world for the good or the bad. Each one of us can shape our own futures for the good or the bad. All of us have the same tools that I just spoke about. Experiences shape you, and because of those experiences, you shape the future. The MCC story that I shared when I got started, y'all remember that? In a nutshell, I said that the honesty, the integrity, the patience, the compassion, the encouragement, the assurance, the understanding that Miss Payne showed me on behalf of Meridian Community College when I was at my lowest as a student put me on the right track and made sure I succeeded. I now employ that same honesty, integrity, patience, compassion, encouragement, assurance, and understanding each time I take the bench. I treat each person that comes in front of me with those same characteristics. In 2003, Meridian Community College shaped the future in 2022 by shaping me. That's powerful. So I pray that you employ fearlessness, the ability to persevere, the bravery, the versatility, the courageousness to go out and to shape the future. That power is in all of you. Thank you. God bless you.
Whew. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's what I think too. Right? There are a few people that I want to thank for helping us with our event here today. In no particular order, I want to thank Al's Gift and Garden on Highway 19 for giving us these beautiful plants that we've been able to use. I'd like to thank the Meridian Museum of Art and Miss Kate Cherry for donating the artwork that lined the hallways as you guys came in. I particularly want to ask these folks if they will stand so we can recognize them. If you served with me on the committee so that we could plan today's event, would you stand so that we can thank you for the work you put in? These ladies, thank y'all. I'd like to thank the administration from Meridian Community College for allowing us to engage in activities like these where we can encourage, engage, and educate. We appreciate you, Judge Markham. I'm going to ask Dr. Huebner at this time, would you like to share just a few words with us?
Thank you. Psychologist Robert Coles was a Harvard psychologist when Ruby Bridges entered elementary school in New Orleans. And he was in the process of studying people and happiness and stress and what would happen if they were under duress and if they would still be able to maintain like an inner joy and inner peace, inner happiness. And he was fascinated by the Ruby Bridges and her family. And at one point, shortly after the initial day when she entered school, he was observing some video that had been taken of that particular day, and he said, as you were walking in, he said, "Were you angry? Did you say something to them?" And she said, "No, sir, I didn't say anything to them. I wasn't angry." And he said, "Well, I saw your lips moving as you were walking into the school." And she said, "Well, well, sir, I was praying for them. And he said, what were you praying for? He said, well, she said, well, usually I would pray for them in the car, but I forgot that day. So I thought that as I walked in, I would pray, God, she said, they're saying a lot of mean things, but they don't know what they're doing. And he said, and she said, Ruby Bridges, little 5-year-old Ruby Bridges said, will you just please forgive them the way you forgave those who said mean things about you so many years ago? Wisdom from a 5-year-old that we can hear today and learn from today. There are stories of things that happened in Meridian, Lauderdale County, places you can go that some of you know about, some of you don't know about, that were places where great tragedies took place, where history was made. We weren't trying to make history, just trying to do right. Where in some ways the trajectory of our country began to turn right here. It's important. So in the process, though, so many people did things that maybe they knew what they were doing, maybe they didn't. Maybe they need forgiveness, maybe they don't. But together, as Judge has shared, we can move forward together and we can learn from the past. Learn from the past so that the future is different. Thank you. Thank you all for being here. I'm blown away by this crowd, and I appreciate your words. And the dancing was beautiful. I didn't try it, but I was pleased that Coach did over here. And you know, you're stuck now. You're gonna, right? But Inspire, that was beautiful. Thank you. What a wonderful day. And the song. I mean, really. Oh my word. And when Kasha sings in a second, I guarantee it's going to be incredible. But thank you all. I appreciate it.
We planned ahead just a little bit, Judge Markham, and we wanted to thank you for being here today. This plaque says, in appreciation, the Honorable Kenneth Dustin Markham, for your commitment and dedication to Meridian Community College, 2/2/22. Thank you very much. Now this next surprise took a little bit of doing, but we managed to manifest a green hoodie.
You better wear it. I can't look, man. Two things. I cannot tell y'all how many times I had to wash that shirt. That's one. The one I had. I can't tell y'all. Second thing, I just want to recognize my dad. Dad, Pop, stand up real quick. That's my dad. That 40 years in education with Meridian Public Schools. Amazing man. That's also the person who told me he wasn't paying to send me off anywhere, that I need to go out here. So amazing man. But thank y'all again. Thank you.
We have one more treat in store for you. Don't forget during the reception to visit our living biographies. But for right now, would you please make welcome Ms. Casey Coleman.
We stand here as two MCCers that we're happy to serve our college on today. What an empowering message. Thank you so much. Let's be the change and shape the future. There will be mountains that I will have to climb, and there will be battles that I will have to fight, but victory or defeat, it's up to me to decide. But how can I expect to win if if I never tried. I just can't give up now. I've come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me the road would be easy, but I don't believe He's brought me this far to leave me. Never said there wouldn't be trials, never said I wouldn't fall, and never said that everything would go the way I wanted to go. But when my back is against the wall and I feel all hope is gone, I'll just lift my hand up to the sky and say, help me to be strong. Oh, I just can't give up now. I've come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me the road would be easy, but I don't believe He's brought me this far. I don't believe He's brought me this far. Come on. I don't believe He's brought me this far. I don't believe He's, come on, say it with me. I don't believe He's brought me this far. I don't believe He's brought me this far to leave me.
Not essential. Never let anyone tell you that again. Never doubt your abilities to make a difference. How do I know this about you? Because I'm a teacher. I am the one who will push you harder and farther than you could have ever imagined. Teach you things that you never thought possible. And if you will give me 100%, then I will stand shoulder to shoulder with you, and together we will change your future. MCC, find your wings.